Hey guys, hope you're having an amazing day today. Big shout out to the 900 or so viewers that actually came in to watch my live stream earlier today. It was the first live stream I've ever done outside of which I put for the AMC earnings back in the day, but I wasn't even talking on it. So this was actually my first actual live stream interacting with so many of you. 900 people came in. I thought it was going to be like 5 or 10 people that were going to just show up. But throughout the couple of hours that I was live streaming, over 900 people watched it, and that was pretty freaking amazing. So thank you all so much for coming in. For those of you that were asking me if I do plan on live streaming more often in the future, the answer is yes. I'm thinking about live streaming twice or even 3 times a week for about an hour or so each session. So yes, this is a new type of formatting content that I do plan on putting up in the channel, as well as a typical afternoon video. If you guys didn't know yet, I am an investor. I am a day trader. I share with you guys my plan today for the Fed news that came out at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. For those of you that followed up with me, congratulations, because you made a lot of money. The puts that we ran in the afternoon at around 2 p.m. ended up going upwards of, I want to say I saw like 600% or so, which was absolutely insane. Okay, so I do plan on going over that trade with you guys, given that so many of you were asking me on my Discord via DMs, how did I do it? So I'm going to be breaking down that trade by itself, and I'm also going to be talking about AMC in a minute. You know what, guys? Let's actually talk about it right now, because this is depressing. So the thing with AMC was that it actually reached an all-time new low of $5.55 today. The reason for that was because, as I said in my last video yesterday, they were apparently holding privately negotiated debt agreements with a couple, entities, financial entities, where they agreed to sell 16 million shares in exchange for like 10 to 12% payment in kind subordinated notes. As of right now, AMC stock has a 5-year loss of 89%, even though movie tickets have gone up in 2023 and they're poised to continue growing into 2024. The fact remains that with so much dilution ahead of us, the stock price is just gonna keep on tanking. So it's a sad reality that we need to accept. So now let's go ahead and talk about the trade that we did on the stream. It was very profitable. So like I said, right before 2 p.m. in the afternoon, these were the levels highlighted on yellow that I was looking for SPY to break. So in the beginning, we saw that SPY had a big, it was just moving back and forth, not really making any significant movement. I did run a put on this because I said at around 469.80 and 469.40, consider adding puts to your position. So I did actually open a couple puts here and a couple puts here. I ended up, just pretty much scalping in and out, because once again, the price wasn't really stable. It would move really far and then just retrace within a 5-minute time frame. So it was just not worth holding on to. Then I started noticing consolidation around this period with higher highs here. So at that point, I decided, you know what, just get ready. I think we're gonna be moving up, and that's exactly what happened. We went over 470.40 within a single candle. And I actually did go into calls, even though it was a little bit higher by the time I got in. It was around 470.60. But still, it was a nice scalp. I noticed once again that SPY was having trouble holding or even pushing higher. So what I did was I just started cutting away my position as time went by. And effectively, SPY ended up just dropping once again. So at around 469.80, around 15 in the afternoon, that's about 3 p.m. in the eastern coast, I went back in on puts, and then I started noticing something. The candle sizes were getting smaller, right? So we were actually seeing a lot of the volatility dying off, but at the same time I did notice that every single candle was making new lows, and that was actually very bearish. That was actually really good. Then we had that little pump again, but this time it did not actually hold over 469.80, which gave me a little bit of confirmation that, you know, bulls were just done with this thing today. They were not going to be showing up, and consequently SPY ended up falling all the way down to what was the low today? 468.17. Yep. So if we look here on the Webull contract, which is the one I played, because I think someone asked me if I was playing SPX. I was just playing SPY, to be honest. I don't really play SPX. I'm not a big fan of it. I understand a lot of people like it, but me personally, I'm just not a big fan of SPX. So let me just pull up the contract here for SPY. Just this thing went absolutely crazy. So at around 15 in the afternoon, like I said, that's about 3 p.m. When SPY broke over under 469.80, that's when I went in. I believe the contract prices for that trade, if I'm correct, they were going for like, you know, in between 30 cents and 40 cents. I think I got in at 37 cents per contract. And at the peak of the dip, this thing ended up going up as high as $1.83. Which means if you went in at around 41 cents, you would have made a $600% return on your investment, which is absolutely insane. I did not get 600%. I got like around 500, because I didn't sell at the peak bottom, obviously. But still, it was an amazing trade to make. It was very. After 3 p.m., the stock market kind of like slowed down a little bit, and it was actually for the betterment for me, because what we were getting in the afternoon was just a lot of sideways action with a lot of volatility in each candle, but not enough consistency moving the price towards any solid direction without, you know, making it a questionable movement. In the afternoon, once volatility sort of slowed down after the news broke out, I did see a lot more. I don't want to say the word determination, but I want to say like consistency with the candles that we were getting, right? So we, as you can see here, from like 14:45 in the afternoon, that would be what is that, like what time is that? That's like 2:45. Yeah, 2:45. We started to see the price of SPY drop consistently with just red candles every single step of the way up until 15:25, which is 3:25 p.m. And then we saw that little bounce, which failed to, like, you know, break over 469.80, and that just gave me even further confirmation that this thing was just, you know, gonna be dropping up to a new low. And I just held on through that towards the end of the day. And yeah, that was my trade today. It was actually very profitable, and I talked about it. If you guys were on my live stream, you guys know that we ran this trade, and for those of you that actually did play it on your end, congratulations, man. You definitely made some money. So I do plan on making this type of video in the future. I love day trading. I love posting my plays. If you haven't already, this is what I'm talking about. Just come check out my Discord. It's free for everyone to join. Just hit the invite link in the pinned comment. I talk about all my day trades there. I have a whole bunch of educational material as well. We have dozens and dozens of books available for free for you to download if you want. We have a very thorough trading strategy, which I laid out in one channel, and you know, it explains everything from how to assess losses, how to assess gains, how to manage risk, how to set up a goal, everything. So outside of that, we have a very engaging community that's you know, it keeps on growing day by day, and yeah, we're just adding stuff to this nonstop. So if you're serious about this, if you're curious about this, come on in, come say hi. It's not gonna kill you to join us. Just come and see what it's like, and maybe you like it, or maybe you won't, and that's totally fine. If you don't like it, you can just leave. But at least give it a chance if you're like interested in day trading. Do keep in mind that we also have long-term investment material there. We have a couple of channels dedicated solely for the purpose of long-term investing. So for example, if you're into like income producing securities, right, like dividend stocks or even bonds. I haven't talked about bonds enough, but you know, dividend stocks, I have a huge channel just talking about how to, you know, spot how to essentially navigate your way through like long-term investments, and what to look out for when you want dividend producing stocks and or ETFs, securities in general. So yeah, come give us a chance to, like, you know, blow out your mind, because we have a lot of really fun material in there. And yeah, that's the video for today. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you guys so much for watching the clip. Thank you so much for coming and seeing the stream. I was not expecting 900 of you to show up, to be honest. That was actually mind-blowing. Thank you all so much, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Let me know what your comments and thoughts down below in the comments section, and you know, to the moon, at least with GameStop, because like AMC is just crashing and burning, baby. Peace.
Passive investing is actually rooted in the theory that markets are efficient, and that markets are efficient because of active managers setting the prices of securities. Firms like Citadel. That markets are efficient because of active managers setting the prices of securities. Firms like Citadel, firms like Fidelity, firms like Viking Global, Capital Research. We're all running large teams of people that are engaged in fundamental research, trying to drive the value of companies towards where we think they should be valued. Trying to drive the value of companies towards where we think they should be valued. And passive investing, in a sense, enjoys the market efficiency that we create in our work each and every day.
Thinks that there was collusion, that the big guys, all of you guys, were figuring out how to do this and ultimately come out ahead, as you always do. But did you talk to them about restricting or doing anything to prevent people from buying, not selling, but buying in GameStop?
Let me be
anybody in your organization.
Let me be perfectly clear. Absolutely not.
So if we depose everyone in your organization, we will find that.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Ken, part of what you attribute this lack of competitiveness to is functional, it's a problem in the education system, and part of it is cultural. This lack of drive for earned accomplishment. Is it possible that there's another factor as well? That if more Americans believed that the odds of success weren't tilted so far in favor of those with money, power, influence, and historic advantages, they'd be more competitive? In other words, inequality is part of the problem?
There is no doubt that we have narrowed the window of opportunity in our country by our broken K through 12 educational system. There's no doubt. And it traces back to the rise of the teachers' unions in the 1960s, where we put the interests of our teachers as professionals in front of those of our children, who are the future of our country. And to be clear, I was at my high school class reunion a few weeks ago, largely to pay tribute to one of my teachers who was so important in my life, who was able to attend us and celebrate his birthday with us. We all have those teachers in our lives who left such a mark on who we are. But yet, I watched Mayor Emanuel just absolutely get attacked by the teachers union for trying to do the basic necessity of having a longer school year and longer school day. Chicago is one of the shortest school years in the country. We have less hours of instructional opportunity for our kids than almost any other major city. And our mayor went to bat to change that and got batted over the head by the teachers union. And it was a disgrace. He worked so hard to improve our public schools in Chicago, and to see that undermined continually by the unions has been heartbreaking. And now what's even more remarkable is the idea of us unionizing our principals. We're going to take away the people who are most accountable. And I got to tell you, I hosted a dinner for our principals a few years ago just to thank them for a number of our higher achieving principals. Just dinner to thank them for a job well done. And when you hear the struggles they face in dealing with the teachers union, and you hear how hard families work to overcome these obstacles. You know, one teacher spoke about, or one principal spoke about how they, by union contract, cannot teach a certain math class in their school with their staff. And the parents have a carpool to come pick up children to take them from one school to another school for an hour of instruction and to bring them back. I mean, this is just an absurdity.
What's the overall thinking on these retail investors, though? Are they back? Was it a black swan? Is it something?
You mean the whole sort of meme stock phenomenon that got Gabe in trouble in GameStop last year?
Yeah.
It's probably a moment in time. You know, replay the history. You've got this enormous stimulus program from the federal government, sending checks to tens of millions of American households. And a fair number of those households did not need the cash. They put it into the stock market. And people were looking for connection. They were looking for something to be involved in. You had the rise of the Wall Street bets and the whole Reddit phenomena. And I don't want to say our stock market devolved into entertainment, but there was certainly an entertainment dimension that came into play with money that was in some sense just dropped out of the skies into people's wallets. And they took a run at the stock market and GameStop and AMC and dozens of other meme stocks. I'd like to think it was a moment in time. I'd like to think that's the case. It's not how capital formation works best. And frankly, a lot of it came from a place that I don't think it was very healthy, which is like, let's try to take a firm like Melvin and put them into bankruptcy. Like, great. So you basically help wipe out the pension plans of teachers. You feel good about that? It's not Gabe's money that you're taking down. You're taking down the money of a pension plan that belongs to a teacher. So I don't think it wasn't a very good moment in American capital markets history, but I think you have to replay history and go, where were we as a country? And people were locked up in their basements, kind of losing their minds.
So it's a COVID phenomenon.